and graffiti.
If you don't write, you're nobody. Like, nobody knows who you are.
Who are the young people who vandalize America's cities?
I like to do as much damage as I can while I'm out here.
And why are they battling each other with spray cans and with guns?
Go, go, go! You want to take my turf, you take me out.
Spray paint who trash buses, benches, buildings. It's a problem out of control in scores of cities, particularly here in Los Angeles. Ron Reagan has spent some time inside the world of the taggers and reports that as they fight for turf, more and more graffiti and gunfire are going hand in hand.
It's all about getting up and using these cans.
I'm on my way, I'm making it.
Why do I tag? Because it's fun.
We see something, we hit it, we run.
If you don't write, you're nobody. Like, nobody knows who you are.
We're taggers, that's it.
Taggers, they're the ones that just write a name on the wall and scribble it. Most of your tagger crews are 3 initials.
Superior and destructive.
They'll pick names that are more apt to pick a characteristic of their nature.
Now, I noticed that your aunt calls you Freddie.
Yeah.
She doesn't call you Looney. Everybody else calls you Looney, though, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that name?
It was given to me by one of my friends. Looney, what? They seen the way I was acting, so all of a sudden they just started calling me Looney.
For Looney and thousands of other teenage taggers, the urge to write on walls is so strong they are willing to risk going to jail or even losing their lives to do it.
Says the California Penal Code.
The tools of the trade, spray cans and magic markers. Their target, just about any surface they can reach.
Whoa, shit. That's totally awesome, dude.
And the risk of being injured or caught in the act is part of the thrill.
It's the adrenaline rush, like you run on the freeway, you could get hit by a car at any time. The police could come out, they could bust you, you get chased by dogs.
They want to be up as much as they can, as long as they can, and as big as they can.
You're looking for the hardest place for the city to reach, so they're not able to buff your name.
They have their own language.
It's about getting up.
But sometimes you gotta get the gas.
I'll still bomb you, in the hall.
We don't want people ranking out.
Jumping in me.
Their own dress code.
See, this is the way tag bangers dress. The khakis, Pendleton.
Strike a pose.
You want to take my turf, you take me out.
With names like Evil Kids, Shoot to Kill, and criminal-minded artists, tagger crews are getting bolder and more violent.
We ain't got taken out yet. We ain't gonna get taken out, period.
They look and act like street gangs.
If someone wants some, you can either step up, run up, or shut up.
That's it.
They don't rank out no more, see? Ain't nobody rank out.
They beat up new members to see how tough they are. They go on shoplifting sprees, stealing food and booze for parties.
With the beer run out. As you can see, it was a successful mission.
What started years ago as late-night mischief by a few lone wolf graffiti artists now happens in broad daylight, hit-and-run raids by swarms of taggers.
It cost Southern California $125 million.
If they slap me with a fine, at least I want it to be worth what I did, you know?
It cost the city of Los Angeles $25 million.
That's all I carry, man.
This is how you get it up.
This, my money, that's it.
More and more taggers are now carrying guns, and they're not afraid to show them off for the cameras.
That's talking right there now.
The handgun is another form of recognition.
How easy is it to get a gun?
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
You gotta have the money, you know, the connections, and it's, you know, whatever one you want is yours.
How much money does it cost to get a decent handgun?
For a brand new one, like out of the box, you could get them like for $150.
$150.
Guns the ones to talk now.
What taggers have been saying through their use of guns is both troubling and tragic.
It's either, you know, kill or be killed. That's what you gotta do now. That's how you gotta live. Happy birthday to you. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Payback's a bitch.
In recent months, crews like KWS have been spending more and more time at funerals. 22 LA taggers have been killed and dozens more wounded in shootouts with other crews.
My homie Sorrell, when they kill him, they pull out the gun to his head. They said, you better not say KWS. What do you say? KWS to the heart. You know what I mean? That's how we earn respect.
For too many taggers, respect at any cost has trapped them in a spiraling cycle of violence.
We're killing our own race and everything. That ain't right, but I guess that's the way it is, and I don't think it's ever gonna stop.
If you gotta pull this out sometimes, you gotta do it. But then we prefer doing this, you know, tagger style.
Y'all ready for this?
Tagger style used to mean settling beefs with a competition to see who could get their tag name up in the most places. But with so much competition and hatred among taggers, these days a battle means war, with real bullets, as our undercover crew discovered.
Oh, this is it. Here it's happening.
Go, go, go!
Me and my homeboy got off the car.
Like Elliot Ness.
And he was like looking out for me and everything.
Streets ain't a place for innocent bystanders.
While I was dissing him.
Nothing's gonna stop the plan.
And next thing you know, we seen two guys coming up the street. Just pulled out a gun and started shooting. They blasted like 2 or 3 times. I pointed the extinguisher in their direction, so like a big old cloud of smoke. We jumped in my homeboy's car and we took off.
Go, 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 go! Don't say goodbye, I don't plan to die.
What went through your mind when you hear somebody shooting a gun at you?
I don't know, like I just start getting hyper and I just want to go back and, you know, I don't know, I get all into it. I get like all hyped up and just everything.
Undaunted by the shooting, Looney and the rest of the taggers continued their hit-and-run foray, crossing out their enemies' tags. Does that happen a lot?
Yeah.
Sometimes?
We're used to that.
Yeah? You're used to it. How used to getting shot at can you get?
We're lucky, guys.
Now, how important is it to you to have your tag on a wall? Is it worth dying for?
Yeah. Well, you could see that.
Yeah? Is it worth killing somebody for?
Yeah. Well, they get in the way. If you're gonna be a tagger, you can't show weakness.
In spite of the constant threat of violence from other taggers and gangs and the possibility of getting busted,
Right there.
most taggers say they intend to stay with it, at least while they're young.
And a lot of people do a lot of different things when they're young, you know? Some of them going to sports and everything, others going to other things, but my homies ain't losers. They're not gonna be doing this all the time, right? But we're doing it just to have a nice, you know, crazy life, you know?
Yeah, they call me Swag from KMT. That's how crazy we are. This KMT King's making trouble.
He calls himself Swag One. He's 19, a tagger with a crew called KMT, Kings Making Trouble.
Almost every KMT's got a piece on them. And you know, and like somebody get crazy, we just got to start shooting.
Although the taggers are quick to use violence against others, bam! They see themselves as being invincible.
No KMT have died, no KMT have getting shot, nothing.
And it's not don't plan to. See, we're always more than 3 deep, and out of that 3 crowd, someone got a gun. So that's why we don't worry about getting caught slipping.
Caught slipping, caught alone. In time, those words would come back to haunt SWAC and KMT.
He gonna hit up on the wall right now.
Few property owners have the opportunity or the nerve to confront graffiti vandals.
Fine, I'll just call the city and have them come clean it. You have to pay?
Yeah.
Fine, you clean it and I won't call the city.
All right, hey.
I don't bother you, I don't want you bothering me.
Some take advantage of city-sponsored programs to clean up graffiti. So this is the place where they mostly graffiti you?
All along the back and along the side over here. So generally where it happens.
So let's paint it all one color, make it look uniform and make it look nicer.
As a businessman, is there a hidden cost to all of this?
Well, there's a major cost because we're all paying for that, program through our taxes.
We are just tired of erasing the graffiti one night, waking up the next morning, and confronting the same problem.
You can't very much have too much pride in your neighborhood when you see it written up like that.
In East Los Angeles, residents are searching desperately for ways to deal with the problem.
We don't have no programs for our kids. That's the reason we have gangs, we have violence.
You don't take a 16-year-old and try to change them. You take a 6- and a 7-year-old and try to show them the right way.
The parents don't know what's going on. They're not aware of what their children are doing at night.
If I were like a cop or something, I'd get the same child who did it and make him paint it back.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Everybody, hands on your head. Hands on top of your head. Let's go.
Sandpaper commonly used to scratch the surfaces of the window.
Any sharp objects or anything like that on you? What else you got in this pocket here?
Nothing. Everything you see here. Don't worry about your shoestring.
Perhaps no agency does more to catch and prosecute taggers than the transit police, but even they are fighting a losing battle.
Now, what happens to you when the police pick you up for tagging?
I think they just take you into a station and, you know, call up your parents, see if they want to come pick you up.
Sending him through the judicial system and getting slapped on their hand or making him do community service, I feel is not working.
So you're a beginner is what you're telling me?
Well, what's the future here? Is there going to be more graffiti, more tagging, and more violence?
Unless we really start concentrating our efforts on prevention, education, and intervention, I don't see where else it can go.
Here's where it goes. Remember Swack, who was seen earlier brandishing an automatic pistol? One night, police found Swack's gun on the sidewalk, along with an empty shell casing, a beer can, and a pool of blood. In an apartment upstairs, they found Swack, killed by a bullet from his own gun.
People versus Frank Navarro.
Murder charges against the tagger accused in the shooting were dismissed because of conflicting evidence. One thing is certain. When Swack was killed, no one from KMT was with him. He was alone, caught slipping.
That's my first homie that ever passed away. The first and the last homie that ever passed away.
We really love him and we miss him. And we just